What is up, fellas? Hope everybody had a great Monday. Seems like the world's getting a little back to normal, kinda. Not so many folks scared of the Kung Flu anymore, which is good. What's going on, Jeff? Jeff Custom RC, good to see you. Wild Bill, Dennis Farley, William Mergita, Nate, how you doing? Jermaine Spencer, Raymond Molina, George Watts. What is going on tonight, guys? It is another Monday evening. I hope you guys are ready for another action-packed episode of Air Marshal Mondays. What's up, Ray? Good to see you guys. Oh, Wild Bill got himself an EDF. What'd you get, Wild Bill? Edward and Gloria, Hillbilly RC, and myself and my family are doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope you and your family are doing great as well. All right. So today, what I want to do is talk about a little bit of RC news, because there's some new things happening in the little world of RC. And I want to kind of talk about those. As we all know, there's a new itsy bitsy airplane from Arrows RC that has hit the streets. The 50 millimeter Arrows Viper, which is pretty cool. It actually looks like a pretty cool little jet. We haven't seen it in the air yet, but I'm sure it's going to perform well. And I'm kind of curious to see how it performs against like the 64 millimeter jets, because it looks like it's about the same size as the 64 millimeter jets, but running on 3S and a 50 millimeter EDF unit. I'm just kind of curious how it's going to perform. So that has yet to be seen. Ah, Wild Bill, somebody threw 4S in it already? Was that on the bad FNRC? Website? Now, I'd be a little concerned about running 4S on the stock ESC. I mean, you have to change out that ESC. I mean, I'm just a little concerned with running 4S through it, that it's got to be pulling more than 30 amps through that thing. What's up, Kenny? How you doing? All right. And as we all know, they've already got it up at Hobby Zone. It's already in stock. So if you're looking to grab one of these, go and check out our buddy Pilot Ryan. Go to pilotryanmedia.com, click on Hobby Zone, and search for the Arrows 50 millimeter EDF. And let's take a look at it real quick. I know we looked at it yesterday, or Saturday, with Pilot Ryan, but I want to take a look at some of the specs and stuff on this airplane. So, as we know, it's a 50 millimeter EDF. They've only got a couple of pictures of it up on the website for now, but it's a small airplane. You know, it's designed to be a hand-launched airplane, belly lander. No wheels or nothing. It's ailerons only, no flaps, no rudder. So it's very similar to a lot of the 64 millimeter um, hand launch. Well, not necessarily hand launch, but the planes that we see from the 64 millimeter planes that we see from E-flite, FMS, um, and Free Wing. So I know with some of those they've got wire landing gear, but I mean I always take mine off. I don't leave the landing gear on those things. So these are neat little airplanes, especially if you're new to EDFs. They're not going to be quite as fast as some of the bigger EDF units, and they use batteries that a lot of us already have. So it's a good entryway for people to get into EDFs and see, what the reaction time is of an EDF jet compared to a prop plane, because a prop plane has a lot more on-demand torque. So as soon as you goose the throttle, you can pull yourself out of a bad situation, where with an EDF it takes a few moments to start moving that air around. So these are great planes, to be able to learn some of those characteristics and how an EDF is going to behave without dumping a whole lot of money into it. As we saw, this thing is $119, man. That is a smoking deal. $119.99. That's incredible. So if you're looking to pick up your first EDF, this may be the ticket for you. If you're just looking for something fun to beat around, I mean, if you're an EDF veteran and you're just looking for something that's cheap, that's fun, this may be the ticket there too. So I will probably be picking one up, just not in the immediate future, but a little later on down the road. I think it's a cool concept. I haven't personally seen another 50 millimeter EDF before, so hopefully this thing performs well, and we'll see. All right, so well, but that's interesting. I have not seen the Grobner Viper. I know that Grobner makes quite a few nice airplanes, but their distribution, especially in the United States, is a little weird. So getting a hold of like a Grobner, if they're making a Viper, or getting a hold of like the Grobner Husky, um, is really difficult here in the U.S. So if you want to get a hold of one, or if you know of a good way to get a hold of one, let us know. Um, so Shadow, I only saw a little bit of the show, um, and we had some company over last night, so I wasn't able to, really dig in and watch the show as much as I would have liked. Um, Obviously, RC submarines are awesome, and that Nautilus that RC Jet dude was showing off was pretty freaking slick, especially the way that they had like the modular, subdriver ballasting components and stuff like that in that thing. That was a pretty slick model. 5 minutes. What you talking about? 5 minutes. And you know what, Bill? It may be. Yeah, I did, Shadow. I did not see that, but I know what he's got, and I've seen it before. There is, I want to say that the guy's YouTube channel is like RC Subdude or something like that. The guy whose submarines he's using. And that guy's got some really neat stuff. Just incredible scale submarine models, but they are pricey, very expensive. Steve J, the commander, is doing awesome. I'm still waiting for. Um, so today was the first day that our club was open. It's the first time that we've been able to fly in months. Unfortunately, as luck would have it, it was also very windy today, so I did not go out because effectively it's not a Reed Maiden, but I'm certainly well aware of the flight characteristics of the Commander, but it has a lot more power now, and I'm tuning the gyro and making sure that safe is working and all that fun stuff. So it's a little, I don't want to go out there on on a super windy day while I'm trying to, you know, while I'm trying to work it and get things calibrated and get everything going the way I expect it to in the air. A windy day is just not the right time for that. So I'm gonna see how the wind looks tomorrow. As soon as I can get it up in the air, I'm going to. Thank you, Bledsoe. Thank you. I'm a huge fan of all things that Dave Grohl touches. He's like the Midas of rock and roll, and everything that he does turns to gold. Um, so, yeah, I'm a big Foo Fighters fan. Love those guys. Steve J, I did not. This thing still has the stock servos. Um, and for the several years that I've been flying the Commander, I've never had a problem with the stock servos. So I am hoping that they hold up. Now, if it ends up that I end up having some servo issues with it, I will probably swap those out with you know, and at least for me, guys, I don't know about you. Um, I'm a big fan of the Metal Gear Digital servos that Freewing, that are in the Freewing and Flightline plane. So anytime I'm buying like the 9 and 17 gram servos, I grab the Freewing and Flightline servos because they've been fantastic. They're fast, they're torquey. Uh, and they're a little bit more quiet than like their E-Flight, Metal Gear counterparts. I just dig them, and I haven't had any issues with those either. So yeah, I mean, if it ends up being a problem where I've got to swap out the servos on this guy, I'll probably go with the Freewing, digital Metal Gear servos. All right. Yeah, Shadow, that's the thing. Obviously, like high tech servos are awesome. We all know that. But when you can get a really nice Metal Gear Digital servo for like $12 instead of 30 or 40, that you pay for a high tech, I'm fine, going with the Freewing servos, and I haven't had any issues with them. They do exactly what they're supposed to do, and they're awesome. 200 driver, unfortunately, Amy will not be joining us tonight, and possibly not for the next couple of weeks. She's going to be going up to Tennessee to visit with some of her family while I stay behind and try to, now that the world is kind of opening back up, try to get myself employed again because I am still without a job. But it certainly looks like there's a lot more stuff popping up here lately on LinkedIn and Indeed and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll be able to get myself gainfully employed again here in the next month, and we can get back to life as usual around the Marshall residence. T and Scoot, I do have some fiber background, dating way back. So the initial installation of networks on board U.S. submarines, which is where I learned, computer networking and all that stuff. We used fiber throughout the ship. Now, granted, that fiber was going into like 10 megabit media converters, half duplex media converters. So the fiber, was certainly capable of much faster transmission speeds, but we were dumbing it down, because the slower you send data, especially when you're sending it like half duplex, the more confidence you can have in your network. And we were all about making sure that the data transmissions over the lines were nice and good, that we could have a high level of confidence that everything that we were sending was good. And back then, we were using IPX, SPX. We weren't using TCP networks. It was all Novell NetWare stuff. And the IPX, SPX protocol stacks did not have the same level of, error correction and collision detection and things like that you've got in TCP. But anyway, we were using fiber, way back in the 90s, early 90s, and I was a fiber repair technician, and ever since then we've been using fiber on submarines. And at my last position, before my last job, the one before that, where I was doing like surveillance systems for big, college campuses and things like that, hospital facilities, whatever. Those big things were all fiber transmission on those that I was designing, because I don't really do the labor side of things. Not anymore. I'm more into the engineering and leadership roles of network engineering type stuff now. But I certainly know a thing or two. So yeah, I mean, the only real issue that I have with looking outside of Atlanta is we just bought a house here, so I'm not really looking to to sell the house. I mean, we could put it up for rent, which is something I really don't want to do, and just buy another one wherever we go. But we really like the house that we have here, so we're gonna try to stay in the Atlanta area if we can. Wild Bill, he already did, man. I've got this very fancy, very large Invicta watch from our good friend Captain Photon. But oh yeah, George Watts. I am not that concerned. If anything, it's more of like an anxiety thing. Like it's just not ever good to be jobless, especially when you have bills that keep coming and there's no income to pay them. So anyway, yeah, this is the watch that that Captain Photon sent to me. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's giant. So yeah, Invicta, they make big watches, y'all. But it's life. It's nice, man. I dig it. So the other RC news. So something that's a little bit controversial, and it's probably not what you guys think, because I'm going to stay out of that one. This has nothing to do with anything that may shine or sparkle in the back of a jet. But something else that is a little bit, controversial is, and we'll get to it here in just a second, the new, let's see, I'm going to see if I can pull it up here by brand. And some of you guys may already know, what I'm going to be pulling up here. It's not like I've shared it with anybody, so if you don't know, don't feel bad. But it's a little bit of a controversial subject. And here we go. We're going to go ahead and pull it up. No, Ray, it's not that. So, the Nexa line of balsa aircraft from that Motion RC is now carrying. This is something that's happened in the last week. And my understanding, although I don't know enough about VQ and the old like the VQ models, my understanding is that the next line of balsa planes is that Motion RC has taken over, the distribution of VQ airplanes, and they are now branding those airplanes as Nexa, and VQ Warbirds has changed the name of their company to a different name, and they are now selling Seagull balsa aircraft. They have dropped the VQ line, and I think it's Seagull that VQ Warbirds is carrying. But that was a little bit of an odd development. I'm sure it's something that happens all the time. And we just don't notice it 9 times out of 10. But it seemed to strike a few nerves, because the people that liked VQ Warbirds were very passionate. So that's kind of how that went. Now, the one thing that I like about these Nexa airplanes is, and if they are VQ, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I have heard good things about the VQ aircraft, so I'd be interested in trying one out. Now, one of the things that I think is great about these Nexa Warbirds is the prices on them. You can get some decently sized balsa aircraft, like this. I know that's almost a 1600 millimeter, but I'm a big fan of, general aviation planes. They've got this G36 Sport 1580 millimeter, $329. Now, look, I get it. A lot of these don't come with retracts. They don't come with the electronics, whatever. So you've got to invest quite a bit of money to get all of it up and running. But the airframes, I think, are priced well for what you're getting. So I kind of like it. I'm digging, the twin Mustang. Um, this Piper PA-18 looks pretty cool. You know, they've got a nice P-47, 1,500, $309 for the airframe. I mean, they're well priced. You know, they don't seem like they're certainly more cost effective than like the Black Horse models. The Black Horse stuff is very expensive. It may not look like it at first glance, but when you take all of the extra stuff that you need into consideration, you've got your power plant, all your servos, receiver, retracts if you need them. I mean, the retracts for some of these planes can cost more than the aircraft. So I like what I'm seeing. I dig that they've picked up a new line, even if it is VQ, that they've picked up a new line of balsa airplanes, because that's something that I'd like to try at some point. All the planes I have right now are foamies, and I've put together some small balsa planes in the past that were all, kit planes. Little sheets of balsa, blueprints, the whole bit, cutting it out with an X-Acto knife, piecing it all together, and covering it with like tissue paper. But that's been years and years and years ago when I was a kid. And I never got into like larger RC balsa airplanes because at the time I was, doing surface stuff. Now, I did get a couple of like the smaller Cox models with like the little .049 motors and doing control line stuff, and some odds and ends like that. A lot of like the rubber band, powered aircraft, and just chuck gliders and things like that. But as far as RC goes, I've never had a balsa RC craft, so I'm this may be where I go to, to kind of start that, is with these Nexaplanes. So just wanted to kind of point that out, that there are, a new line of aircraft, and they kind of snuck in under the radar a little bit with Motion RC. And one of the other things that I'll point out, which I'm sure that folks that are interested have already seen them, and I know not everybody's interested, and I apologize. It just kind of is what it is. But the boats from Motion RC, they also brought a couple of new ships into their lineup, such as the Arleigh Burke destroyer. They've got an aircraft carrier. They've got a few more battleships in the lineup. I know they're not for everybody. They also added the Titanic, and one of the things that I thought was, just very amusing was, I keep kind of fussing like, hey man, they need to come out with a submarine, and someone said that after you take the Titanic out for its first underway, that it will turn into a submarine. And I just thought that was pretty freaking funny. So anyway, I'm not gonna hit on these boats too much, because I know that they're not very popular. People don't really like them. I like them. I think they're sweet. Jeff in Lower Alabama, I think, at the Southeast Model Show, I was, very impressed with the build quality and the appearance of the Extreme Flight muscle Bipe. And we'll pull that up too, because it's just a beautiful airplane. And I think if I ever get a balsa plane, This is probably going to end up being the one that I end up getting, at least at first. Is this just, I mean, and they're just beautiful airplanes. Yep. So I'm not really into 3D, which is why I dig the muscle bike. My understanding is that it's not like a true 3D airplane. It's more of an aerobatic, pylon racer type of platform. So, this is what I want to get. Is the muscle bike. I saw one at the Southeast Model Show, and it's built like a tank. It's very well done. The covering is phenomenal. It looks super sharp. I mean, what you can't really go wrong. It's a great looking airplane. I love it. Yep, and I like the black and white. I like the red one too, though. So I'm kind of kind of torn between them. Here is the red one, and they're awesome. They're awesome looking airplanes. But yeah, this red is what they had at the show. When I saw the white and black one, I was pretty impressed with that because I really dig that color scheme. But it's a beautiful airplane. They're not super pricey. I mean, they're not cheap, but they're not, they're not like crazy, knock your pocketbook either. I mean, it's $360 for the airframe. Um, Pretty pricey compared to a foamy, especially once you put all of the stuff in it, and for like a 54-inch airframe. But um, just based on what I saw, it's a beautiful model. I think it's worth the $360 for something that's done that well. And I guess you just have to trust me that the extreme flight, that this airplane is put together as well as any balsa plane ever. It's awesome. So that's probably where I'm. That's probably where I'm going for um, for my first balsa plane is that extreme flight. But like I was saying, I do like that new variety, those Nexa planes from Motion RC. I'll probably try one of those out as well. Um, but yeah, that muscle bipe is like that's first on my radar for a balsa plane. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat right now. Yeah, George Watts. I mean, uh, that's probably more out of ignorance, at least on my part. I only have the foam planes. A lot of the ARFs that I have seen have been mostly like hobby ply and balsa. Woods, I haven't seen any with a lot of, composites and things like that. Now, a lot of them like have like a fiberglass cowling, Um, but yeah, I mean, just my point of reference is very uneducated on those models for now, until I get into until I get into them and start checking them out. Now, I'd probably still go like electric, especially on like that muscle Bipe. Um, but we'll see. I'm not. I just don't like dealing with a lot of the gas stuff. I've had gas um, or nitro cars in the past, surface vehicles, and I mean they're fun, they're loud, they make a lot of cool noise. The nitro fuel, surprisingly, I dig the smell of nitro fuel burning. I think that it's cool, um, but the electric is just much easier, at least for me. That's strictly my opinion, but I find the electric is much easier to just get up and roll. What's happening, Lewis? How you doing? Yeah, Michael, I think that the one they have on Motion has the retracts with it. Um, yeah, Lewis, I heard that, and I mean, I'm sure that there was a bunch of people out there flying today. The couple of planes that I still need to fly are kind of maideny. They're not the first time I've flown them, but I've done a lot to them, especially the commander behind me. It's got new receiver, new speed control. Everything's been adjusted. It's not going to fly how it used to. So I'm waiting for it to be a little bit less of a windy day to see how things go. Little less wind. Raymond, yes, I can show off that white transmitter. And it's actually nothing fancy. It's just a DX6, and I painted the outer shell. I took my DX6 apart and pulled the grips off, popped out everything, took all of the internals out, took all the switches out, and painted the outer shell of the case white, put a like a matte clear coat over it so it wouldn't be like super shiny. And then I took the black sticks off of the IX12 and put them on here, and I took the orange sticks and put them on the IX12. So the IX12 is black and orange, and this is all black and white now, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a DX6. It's not that fancy. A DX6 Gen 3. Now, really all I use this for anymore, and you wouldn't be able to see it, in the camera, or maybe you can. This is my buddy box wireless trainer for my IX12. So, if I've got people that I'm training or flying with, I'll bind my IX12 to the airplane, and this is already, set up to, it's already bound to the IX12 as a buddy box unit. So I've just got a really fancy, buddy box wireless radio in the DX6. All right. George, that is excellent. excellent advice. You know, I think that the RC hobby is fantastic, and not just you know, the RC aviation side. Um, I mean, I've got this big, you know, Creighton 4S truck. I did surface for many, many, many years before I ever got my first airplane. You know, I get that some, you know, air guys don't like trucks or cars. Some car guys don't like airplanes, whatever the case may be. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the RC hobby in general is all about having fun. So, you know, I think that anybody who enjoys RC, no matter what the discipline is, whether that's RC aviation, drones, helicopters, fixed wing aircraft, you know, big airplanes, small airplanes, foam, balsa, trucks, cars, boats, sailboats, submarines, whatever your passion, you know, everybody that's an RC enthusiast should be able to get behind any other um, discipline of RC, whether it's something that you do or not. Um, is your personal preference, but you know, everybody that enjoys RC should be willing to get behind anybody who's passionate about RC, no matter what discipline they choose. Yeah, Lewis. Mike SSI says, "You're just not hitting the ground hard enough. They'll flex." Yeah, and you know, I've been looking at that Tiger Cat, and like, I mean, it's kind of a toss up between, you know, if I ever get a Tiger Cat, am I going to get the Flightline Tiger Cat or the FMS? I'm kind of leaning, you know, more along or more towards the FMS Tiger Cat. I think it looks like the landing gear might be a little better. Um, Other than that, I mean, they both look like incredible airplanes, so it's hard to choose one way or the other. But for anybody that has flown both, you know, I'm certainly open to suggestions. Which one you guys think is the better airplane between the FMS and the Flightline Tiger Cat? Pretty Hillies drive me crazy to read. Yeah, Rabbit. Uh, I I am not, and it's probably due to lack of skill. I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching people fly 3D, whether that's 3D airplanes or 3D helicopters. I am a big fan of folks that can do it. You know, it's more like an awe, especially the guys that can really fly the crap out of helicopters. Um, but you know, it's and I'm sure for them it's very relaxing. Now, my own personal flying style, I'm more of a relaxed pilot. I don't do a lot of aerobatics. Um, I like fast planes. You know, I don't get super crazy with them, and I'm usually fairly conservative when I fly. Um, you know, I don't do like really low passes, probably because I you know, just don't want to wreck airplanes. But you know, there's certainly some guys out there though that I mean, I know that they're not being reckless because a lot of them are absolutely in control of their airplane. Um, and in control of their helicopters, and it's awesome to watch. I don't have the skills, and my nerves, in my old age, can't keep up with that kind of stuff yet. So I have tried doing some 3D stuff in like real flight, and I can't get the hang of it, and it's probably something where I just need to practice it and maybe watch some videos and learn how to fly 3D, both helicopter and fixed wing, to see if I can get better at it, at least in real flight. And I know that I know that there are planes in real flight, and you can certainly use it as a learning tool for 3D. And I can't remember what the guy's name is, but like one of the best 3D fixed wing pilots out there right now flies real flight like all the time, and he's freaking amazing. Yeah, helicopters tend to make a lot of people sad when you wreck them. Rabbit, sometimes it's better to just tell them, like, hey man, that was all skill, and hide the truth, non-disclosure. It's lying through omission, but you don't have to like feel bad about it. Right. Yeah, Jace Ducia. Um, that guy is amazing. That guy is an amazing pilot. What's up, Mickey B? How you doing? All right, so for guys that have been watching along, I want to make a little bit of an apology for folks that have been watching along with the AR637T series. I know with the AR636 series, I just dumped it like, here's all of it all at once. And with the AR637T series, I've been putting them out kind of one video at a time. And my intent was, I had all of the footage recorded, and my intent was to release them one day at a time. And what has ended up happening is the audio quality was terrible, and on some of the videos I was able to kind of work with it, and it was just taking hours and hours and hours just to get the audio to sound decent, and to try to get some of the background stuff out of the audio and get the levels right, and just tons and tons of work that was taken to fix the audio problems. So basically what I've decided to do is, the videos that are up are going to stay up. The videos that were not, I'm redoing them. I'm just going to redo the videos. It'll be faster for me to redo the videos and record new audio. And I'm a little more familiar with the whole system now than it would be for me to go and do voiceover work, or try to to get it all repaired, and get all the audio fixed on the footage that I've got. So I'm re-recording basically from the initial binding and setup. Everything from setting up AS3X and safe and flight modes and all that stuff, I am doing all that over again. So I do apologize for the amount of time that it's taking to get the AR637 stuff out, but I wanted to show you guys some of the toys that I have gotten, to get the sound quality better on these recordings. So Nope, Shadow, none today. I thank you, Mickey B. So no beer today. I actually got. I drank a lot last night. We had some friends over that we hadn't seen in many years, and we decided that we were gonna partake in a few adult beverages, and we ended up having more than a few adult beverages, and I woke up this morning not feeling so great. So today I'm taking a break. No adult beverages for me. Yeah, social distancing. Awesome. So, um, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to thank all the folks that contribute to the channel, because they're the ones that made it possible for me to be able to get the equipment that I have got now, where I'm going to be able to re-record everything. People making contributions to the channel helped me get a new camera, new microphones, new audio recording equipment, new wireless stuff. All of this stuff was made possible by you guys. So thank you to everyone who makes contributions to the channel during these live shows. It helps a ton. I know I can't do super chats, but we're very, very close to 1,000. So that's coming up here real soon, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. If everything kind of stays on pace that it is now. I'm sitting at almost 920 subs right now, which is just amazing to me. So we'll address that now too. That's awesome. Yeah, so everybody here is fantastic. So thank all you guys. But if you look down at the ticker, that goes along the bottom, there is, if you're interested in making a contribution to the channel, we always appreciate it. And there is a PayPal link down there where if you guys want to make contributions to the channel, we certainly appreciate it. And so I want to get into a little bit of the stuff that that the channel contributions have been able to that we've been able to pick up and acquire for the channel that are going to make things better. As far as audio quality. Especially on like the tutorial videos, any kind of, when we go out to the field and we're doing flight reviews and things like that, I usually don't talk a lot during the flight reviews because the camera microphones just don't pick me up very well, especially once you get, 10, 15 feet away from it, it starts to sound like crap. Even if you're using like a shotgun or a boom mic, it gets crappy. So to address that, I picked up these little guys, and what this is the Rode Wireless Go system, where you've got a like a wireless microphone. There's a little microphone on it, and you just clip that to yourself, and you've got a receiver unit that goes either on the camera or it goes somewhere else. And in our case, I'm going to be using that Rode receiver going into this. So one of the other things that I found is, by having the audio recording tied to camera footage, made it very difficult to edit using really good editing tools for audio. You had to strip the audio from the video, and it made things a little interesting. So I ended up getting this. This is a Tascam D07. It is a digital audio recording device where even if I'm at the field, I can have independent audio recordings coming into the Tascam, and we can edit the audio completely separate from the video, which is really cool, so we can do all of our noise reduction, EQing, all that stuff on a completely separate WAV file, and it's going to make everything much, much better, because the way that these little wireless devices are designed, I mean, these are very high quality. It sounds almost like wearing a lapel mic. So it picks up everything, and it's beautiful. It sounds great, and I'm really looking forward to getting some content created using this stuff. Um, and the last thing I got, and you guys are gonna you guys will probably get a kick out of this because I think it's funny, but I got a little clapper board, and that's so we can sync up the audio tracks with the videos that we're making, and make sure that we know which audio tracks match up with the videos that we're doing. It comes with a little marker and stuff, and you can kind of use the little color bars to help you do some color correction in the videos as well. So it's all like stupid filmmaking stuff, but it's things that are going back into the channel. We've always said that every contribution that we get goes right back into the channel and either gives us something to make content on or helps us make better content for you guys. So I know it's cheesy, but all these things that we're getting are all to make the experience for you guys better. It's all stuff for you. If I didn't give a crap, man, I'd just keep using my phone, and poor Amy would be trying to get shots that are impossible, with a phone. But because, like I said, through the contributions that you guys have been making, we're going to really be able to kind of step up our game and put out much better quality content with better video, better audio, and hopefully that will make the viewing experience for you guys much better. So hope you guys like all that stuff. Sorry. Yeah, Jeff. I don't know if it's too much time. The problem is that it takes way too much time right now for me to do a lot of the things that I want to do. And what I'm hoping for is that by using all of this stuff, that I'm able to put out content that's better quality, and I can get it done faster. Because being able to synchronize like multi-camera shots with separate audio is a much quicker turnaround, than trying to use the native audio from the camera and making it sound decent. I mean, it is a challenge. Thank you, Randy. Yes, Mike, more eye-watering video is coming soon. And Mickey B, that's true. My goal in the beginning, of this channel was just to put out good content that people would like, and as more and more people have liked it, obviously I want to be able to step up, the game and what we're doing. So yeah, man, getting all these little things, I mean, they all seem silly, but at the end of the day, it's going to help me get the editing done faster. It's going to help get the get everything synced up faster. Everything will go much smoother. So I think it's awesome. It all seems like little toys, but they're tools, that we're going to be able to use and get cool things going. So the less I have to worry about the production, and hoping that things are going to go right, the more I can focus on getting new stuff. So now that we kind of have the production side of the house kind of squared away, we can start working on pushing out the rest of the AR-637T series, getting the P-47 out, and having a redemption flight, from the crash on the Dynam, P-47. Finishing up the Commander MPD on 4S with all of the smart technology and getting that back out. And I know that Ryan and I, we've got another, thing that we're working on, and I think that you guys are going to dig it. But I'm not going to say anything about it yet. But yes, Ryan and I are going to be working on a project here in the near future, and it's going to be pretty freaking slick, Rick. So when you guys see it, I hope you like it. Eric RC, good to see you, man. Welcome to the show. Yeah, exactly, Mickey. That's kind of the point. Yeah, Kenny, they really haven't made any editing software that can make my face look any better. I've always said I have a face for radio, and a voice for silent movies. So, I mean, it's rough when you're ugly, dude. It really is. Deep fake. I think I am on the Discord server, but I have not fired that up in months. So shame on me. 52 people, man. Wow, thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. That's what I'm going to need to do, Randy. I'm going to need to get some makeup, maybe like a silicone mask that will make me look like somebody completely different. Mike Keller, how you doing? I will get a wig that looks like Jeff's Custom RC hair instead of this crazy, silver thing that I've got going. I'll get the Jeff's Custom RC wig so I can be tied, for best hair in RC. Yeah, now here probably in the next month or so, I'll be heading up to North Carolina to pick up an airplane from our good friend Raven Rock Machine and Aviation, and who knows, man? I may swing up and make a stop into the Jeff's Custom RC barber's seat and see what's up. Yep, and we'll get it on video. We'll get that on video. I'll just wait. I'll wait for my hair to get like real raggedy, and we'll swing up to Jeff's place, and we'll do a whole video on making the air marshal look swanky with Jeff's Custom RC. No, Shadow. So everybody's still here right now, including my crazy ass dogs. And that's really probably going to be like the hard part over the next couple of weeks while Amy's out is keeping the dogs in check. I'm probably just going to have them sitting in my lap over these next couple of shows, or and I know that this will be popular with some and not so popular with others. Either way, to me, I dig it. I like doing what I'm doing, whatever it is that I'm doing. We may while for the next couple of weeks, go back to doing virtual fly-ins on Mondays. I want to tear that down to once a month, and I either want to do like the first Monday of the month or the last Monday of the month. So maybe not next week, but the 25th. We'll do a virtual fly-in on the 25th. So that'll be cool. Jeff, that's cool. I see you on here a lot. So today is your lucky day. What's up? Eric RC. Hey, that's cool that you're 14 because there's no content for kids under 14 on this here channel. So the fact that you are 14, it's cool. You can stay. Spencer Keith. That is awfully nice of you, buddy. That is very cool. So, in case some of you guys are missing what's happening in the chat right now, so Eric RC, just got a DXE, and apparently he had to save up and get it. And Spencer Keith has offered to give Eric RC his DX6E, and that is awesome. So, thank you to Spencer Keith. It is folks like you that make this hobby the most awesome hobby on the planet. And Eric RC, I hope that you're able to use that DX6E and that it works out well for you. That is awesome. Yep. So Spencer Keith, thank you, sir. I think that's great. They need to help you give it to them. How can we help you, Spencer? What do you need for us? How can we help you give your DX6E to Eric? Oh, good point. Good point. So, Spencer, here's what I would do. If you want to, to try to play this on the safe side, I get what your concern is. I would make your email address available and see if you can get Eric to have one of his parents contact you. That way you're not like communicating with a minor and things don't get weird, right? So Sawyer, why wouldn't his parents be supportive of getting a free radio? Mr. Tui, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. Dude, if y'all are Brazilianaires, you don't need no money. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing around. $1 Brazilian. Yes. Spencer, that's awesome. If you don't have good grades, I will find you and I will get my transmitter back. That's fun. That's awesome. So, again, Spencer, thank you, man. I appreciate you doing that. That is fantastic. That's awesome. So, what's up, Jackson? How you doing? Sorry, I am paying attention. I'm watching the chat, and I really didn't come into today with a plan. So I want to kind of let you guys drive the discussion. Kind of take control of the bus here, and um, if you guys have any questions or anything, pop them down in the chat, and let's see, what kind of questions you guys have. If your question is when is Amy showing up, she won't be on the show tonight, unfortunately. The repairs on the P-47. So the P-47 didn't actually need a lot of repairs. But let me go grab it. I'll show them to you. All right. Sorry that took a while, guys. I apologize. So, here is the P-47 that some of you may recognize as the plane that smacked the fence, right? Now, the airplane actually smacked the fence on the left wing, so right over here. And the wing was kind of bent down a little bit. I mean, it was bent down pretty bad. So using a pot of boiling water and a washcloth soaked in hot water, I sandwiched the wing, in the hot water, and just kind of massaged it out and got the wing to bend back out straight. So now you can see that wingtip. I mean, you can still kind of tell that it's bent down a little bit, but for the most part, it is straight again. It's certainly nowhere near as bad as it used to be. And you can't really tell how mangled up it was. But yeah, all through there was pretty bad, and you can, I mean, if you were right up on it, you can see all the wrinkles in the foam, but, you can't see it on the camera from here. The right side of the airplane was fine. It was just the left side that really got messed up. And the wing also got ripped out of the fuselage. Because this is kind of a mid-wing, it doesn't sit right on the bottom. And it's not a high wing, it's kind of a mid. The wing roots, or the wing root gloves, whatever they call them, where it comes out of the fuselage, they kind of come out of the middle. So where the wings attach in this model, oh, here it is. It's like I thought I put a little piece of tape there, and I did. So where the wings attach, now I need to go and put all this, get all this, kind of wiring bird's nest fixed from where I was repairing this part. But there's little blocks, that are part of the wing. There's little blocks here and here that where the wing bolts into the fuselage. So you push it in, and then you put the bolts in, from inside the battery compartment. And those foam blocks had broken off the wing as well. And, I used some just foam safe CA and hot glue. And because I don't think that there's a lot of like lateral G forces trying to push the wing out. You know what I mean? Like nothing, even when you're in the heaviest G loading, your wings are trying to fold, this way, or even, trying to get pushed back. And I think that, the carbon, your spar helps a lot more than the foam where it's held into the model. So I'm not really that worried about it. If it ends up being a problem, I'll just buy a new set of wings because everything else is in good shape, right? So, yeah, So the P-47 is ready to get back in the air. I'm excited to get it back up and see if we can't get it off the ground and actually go for a flight this time, instead of the bad experience we had last time where we just put it right into put it right into the fence as soon as we took off. There's a little a little chunk out of the front of the cowling too, right there. But I mean, I don't care about that. That is all small cosmetic stuff. I am certainly not the person that's like, oh, I crashed my airplane, I got to throw the whole thing away. I mean, if I can repair it, I don't care what it looks like when I'm done with the repair, as long as it can still fly, man. Nope, Steve J, you are absolutely correct. There will be no hand launching the P-47. Yeah, George Watts, I do like P-47s. I like the Razorback a little more than the Bubble Top, but you know, the Bubble Top is kind of growing on me a little bit. You know, like the Bubble Top Mustang, Bubble Top Razor or P-47. I mean, I don't mind them as much as I used to. I used to just not care for the Bubble Tops at all, but you know, the more I look at it, the more I like it, if that makes sense. Sorry, the dogs are idiots. Yep. Now I do have a little P-47 Razorback, but it's and you guys have seen it on the show before, um, a long time ago now. Some of the first episodes after we moved into the house here where we've got this studio. Um, it's an old E-Flight EPS model. It's about 14 years old, and that is a man. It is the Razorback model, which I like. Yeah, EQ. I know that the wings are cheap, and that's probably what I will do when and if this repair breaks. If they're working fine, I don't see any reason to replace them. You know, it wasn't hard to to bend the phone back in place, and it was actually ready to fly the next day. I want to say the next day it rained, and by the time I had an opportunity to get it back out to the field, the coronavirus had fully taken a stranglehold on the nation and shut down all the fields where I could have flown it. Um, so that sucks. Randy, I do, man. That FW-190 is actually it's a great flying airplane. I've still got it. I still look at it all the time. Yes, Wild Bill. So wait, you guys are hand launching these big dynam birds? Like 11 and 1200 millimeter birds? Because that's a little big for me. I hand launched the little P-47 I've got, which I think is a 980. Um, I hand launched that one, but I don't know that I'd hand launch, like yeah. So Shadow, I'm not buying German planes, but they fly good. George Watts, I bet that thing's awesome, dude. What are you asking me? Like, what if I built a German plane? Why would I build a German plane? Would that be allowed? Are you talking about like scratch build a German plane? I don't know. Wow, Bill, that's weird. So what was it? Just the video wouldn't start? Could you hear the audio? So EQ, I'll tell you, that's one area where I've been a little disappointed with these Dynam planes. Is for a 4S power system, at least in my opinion, they are not very. They don't have good power, in my opinion. I think they suck, um, as far as the power goes. I think they would have done a lot better with like the FW190 and the P47. They both got 500 kV motors in them. And just the motor and prop combination just doesn't pull real well, at least in my opinion. I think that they could have done, they probably could have gotten away with like a 750 kV motor and got a lot more performance out of these things. And I may end up doing that myself at some point, swapping the motors out with something that's got a little more oomph to it than a 500 kV motor. It just seems very weak for a 4S power system. If they were 3S models, I would say, hey, I need to bump it up to 4S. But yeah, I don't think they used. I don't think it was a good choice of motor to put a 500 kV motor on these airplanes. Jep TJ5, I am awesome. Thank you so much for saying that, and I appreciate it. And we've still got a lot more to release on the AR637T. We just got some some new audio equipment. I took a break, and I talked about this earlier, so I don't want to get everybody bored, but I had a lot of issues with the footage that I took, where the audio just was in and out and didn't sound good at all. So I'm re-recording most of the programming series. All the videos that are up now are going to stay, so like wherever we're at now, I think we're up to like part 6, where you go through the process of like setting up the auto sensing, or the auto orientation, the first time setup process of the AR637T. Everything beyond that we're re-recording. So once I have that stuff re-recorded, we have we should be able to get the rest of the series released. That'll kind of walk you through setting up AS3X, setting up your gains, setting up gain adjustments, flight modes, safe, auto leveling, panic buttons, the whole bit. We'll walk through every part of the process. I just need to re-record it, and we'll get it all back out there. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll get all the rest of the videos out there. Shadow, good luck, man. Yeah, Jeff, I think that the issue with the Dynam planes is a combination of the crappy props that they use, as well as just a slow motor. I think with a two-bladed prop, which really wouldn't be scale for these airplanes, but it would work. A two-bladed prop, like a 12.6, or maybe even I think that these are 13-inch diameter props that they've got on there. I'd have to go and look, but the combination of a better prop and a higher kV motor, I think, would work wonders on these airplanes and really get them moving the way that they should for a warbird. They just seem very underwhelming in the power, in the power department with a 4S battery. Where in contrast, this thing is faster on 3S than either of those two Dynam planes on 4S. And I just converted this over to 4S. And, I've given it a couple of just static pulls. Man, this thing is going to be a rocket on 4S power. And that's how I expect, 4S to be. I expect that thing to, woo, for that size of airplane with a 4S power system, I feel like it should haul ass. And that's where my biggest complaint is with them. I can get past the build issues and quality control and all that stuff, but I want more power on 4S, and I think just swapping the motor, from a 500 kV up to like a 750 motor would probably make all the difference in the world, even with the three-bladed prop. My next airplane. So, my next airplane that I am getting, I already know the answer to this, and it's getting a plane that I've already got. I've already got a free wing F-18 that I absolutely love. It's a plane that I adore and I don't want to fly anymore. It is my Blue Angels F-18 that I did up as a tribute to Captain Jeff Coos from the U.S. Marine Corps, who was the number 6 Blue Angels pilot. And if you look at my YouTube channel, that's the Captain Coos Memorial in Smyrna, Tennessee, that's on the homepage of my YouTube channel. He crashed in Smyrna, Tennessee during one of the Blue Angels air shows a few years back, and I did this plane as a tribute to Captain Coos. It's got, Captain Coos it's got the bureau number on the plane is the bureau number that he crashed that day. It's got his name under the canopy, and I don't ever want to lose that plane. So I'm gonna get another free wing F-18 that I can fly and wreck if I want, and I'm actually gonna be getting that from Dustin So that will be pretty cool. So, Steve, I hope to have footage of the commander in flight here within the next week or two. Now, because it's part of a series of videos, just because I get the footage, I don't want to put those videos out of order, if that makes sense. So, flying it and doing all the test flights and all that stuff will kind of be the end of the series. But once I get the rest of the footage and get those edited, because it should be pretty quick to get those edited up, we'll go ahead and get that footage on there. But hopefully I'll have some flight footage of the commander on 4S here within the next 2 to 3 weeks. See you, Eric. What is it you're wanting to see, Steve? The like what we've added to the commander? All right. Ooh. So a lot of what we've done with the commander has been documented in the AR637T series. But I'll go ahead and show you guys. So what we've got in here is, I replaced the AR636 with the AR637 that you can see there. And I took out the stock 45 amp ESC and added the Avian 60 amp Smart ESC, which you may or may not be able to see there. And all of that is in, I think, maybe the second or third video of the AR637T series, if you want a closer look. And, I've got both 4S 2200 smart batteries and 4S 3200 smart batteries. I don't think the flight times would be very good running 2200s, although it may be a little more nimble because it's not carrying quite as much weight. But the 3S batteries I was flying in this were 3200 3S batteries. So I'm really looking forward to letting her rip with 4S, because I'll tell you, just the static runs running it on 4S, this thing is pulling hard. I can imagine. I think it's probably going to be a 70 to 80 mile an hour airplane, which isn't like super fast, but it's way faster than it was stock, for sure. Yeah, George, I have been a big fan of the Commander MPD. Yeah, that's true, Steve. Mike Keller did crazy shit with his Commander MPD. He took the motor out. So the Commander comes with I want to say it's like a 900 kV motor, maybe more. But he took that motor out and put the motor from a V900 into the Commander. The V900 is an 1100, maybe even, I think it's either 11 or 1180. It's something ridiculous. it's about 200 to 300 kV higher than the stock Commander motor, and he put that into his Commander and ran it on 4S, which had to have been ridiculous. You know, he put a little tiny prop on it. I would have left the stock prop on it just to try to rip the wings off the airplane. You know, because I, at least in my opinion, I think that the stock prop on a V900 is too small to really push enough air around the airframe of the Commander. I want to say the V900's only got like a 6 or 7 inch prop on it, where the Commander has a 12 inch prop. You know, I mean, a little 6 or 7 inch prop. I mean, that's tiny. So, I mean, I'd probably still want like a 12-inch prop on it. 11 at the small. I wouldn't go any smaller than an 11-inch prop on a Commander, but that's just me, you know. And then play with the numbers a little bit in eCalc and see what they come up with, you know, as you move to like a maybe like an 11.4 or an 11.5, you know, on a 1200 kV motor. That's ridiculous. Fred Barron, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah, you know, and if you're running 4S on something like this and you're not like running it, you know, just absolutely nutso, balls to the wall, you're going to get super long flight times out of like a 4S 3200 battery. You know, I'm probably gonna fly this thing and really try to get, you know, see how much speed I can get out of it. Um, you know, I'm a lot more comfortable with the Commander's flight characteristics, where I think that putting this on 400 or putting this on 4S and really getting, you know, a lot more speed out of it is going to make it where I, you know, feel a lot more confident when I'm flying warbirds and things like that. Because this plane has been just awesome. You know, this was my gateway plane into a lot of other planes as I've gone through the hobby. You know, in fact, no, there was a couple of other ones. I want to say I had the no, I had the Viper before I got the Bigfoot. So, you know, I had the Apprentice, a whole bunch of flight test planes that I put together, and I had the Commander. And between the Commander and all of the flight test planes, and just putting together models and flying them, and then playing with the simulator a lot, uh, I want to say that the Viper was the next plane I got after getting the Commander. But, you know, to be fair, my progression in the hobby, I got the Apprentice and I flew that Apprentice for like a year, every weekend. You know, I probably put 200-300 flights on that stupid thing before I ever got my second airplane, which was a flight test model. And built 4, 5, 6 flight test models, you know, testing different characteristics before I ever bought the Commander MPD. And then I flew the Commander MPD and the Apprentice. You know, again, this thing probably had 100 flights on it, and I just learned how to fly over and over and over again. Just fly, fly, fly. And then I got real flight. You would think that I probably should have gotten real flight sooner than that. And then my next plane after that was the Viper. Not long after the E-flite Viper came out. And I mean, of course, I was nervous because it was a lot more airplane than I had flown in the past. But I mean, this thing, prepared me well. It prepared me well. It's got such snappy handling, um, that I was at least in my opinion pretty well prepared to step into something like the Viper, because my intent, when I started this hobby, was to fly EDFs, right? It's only been after that I've really started to appreciate warbirds, and that was only this past year when the P-51, the E-flite P-51 came out. That P-51 was really my first warbird, big prop-driven warbird. But between the P-51, the P-47, the Focke-Wulf, and a second P-47, I want to fly more warbirds also. Those things are a lot of fun, and I just kind of skipped them. I never did warbirds in my progression to EDFs. But now that I've started flying them, I kind of want to go back, and be like, all right, let's check out these warbirds. Let's check out, P-47s and like a P-38. I love the P-38, the Tiger Cat. There are a lot of some of those classic warbird, the Spitfire. I've always loved the Spitfire. I want to get a Spitfire. I want to get a Corsair. So I'm kind of going backwards now. Where my goal when I started flying, and yes, it took a couple of years to get to EDFs, but I feel like I did it the right way. Like, get this plane, learn it, fly it, learn how to fly that airplane, and then I moved up to the commander and learned it and learned how to fly and really fly that airplane. So, the jets was an easy transition, but it did take a long time to get there. So, hope that all makes sense. George Watts, I wouldn't say that the dream plane is really the muscle Bipe. I'm going to talk a little bit about historical stuff. I've got about 12 more minutes before Guniac gets fired up here. So, well, I know that he gets going at like 10:15 his time, but I'm gonna try to cut it at 10 o'clock. So I've got some time to go do my things before Guniac's show starts up. But going back to kind of my history with aviation, and telling a little bit of like my childhood background and stuff. My love for aviation was sparked in like 1978 ish, when I moved. My dad was in the Air Force, and we moved to Anchorage, Alaska, to Elmendorf Air Force Base. Elmendorf Air Force Base at the time, and still today, is one of the primary bases of the Strategic Air Command. And we had a lot of interceptor aircraft at Elmendorf Air Force Base, and this was right during the transition out of the F-4 era and into F-15s for Strategic Air Command. So I really loved the F-15 when it came out, and that, like, my dream plane, the one plane that I would have amongst all others is probably like the big 90mm free wing F-15. I'm a little hesitant to pull the trigger on it because I have heard that it's underpowered, but I have also heard that there are alternative that you can get other EDF units and put them in there that will liven it right up and give it plenty of power. Because it's one of their super scale airplanes. It's got air brakes and a lot of things that make it a little heavier than your typical foam fighter. But yeah, the F-15 has always been that airplane that lit the spark of aviation for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. I would love to get a hold of a that free wing 90 millimeter F-15. I was checking up with the chat. It's Dave's RC. Dave's RC says he's about to intercept some booty. Man booty. What's up, man? It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by tonight, brother. Thanks for stopping by. We already talked about geeky stuff, so you missed out. You got here for the good. In debt to RC Joe B. The E-Flight P-51 Mustang is... now, this is my opinion, and it's not shared by a lot, but I feel like it's one of the best looking planes that I've got. It's beautiful. I love that P-51. It flies so good. And I think that sentiment can be shared by almost anybody who's flown that big E-Flight 1500 millimeter P-51. I mean, it is beautiful. It is a beautiful model. I love the paint. I love the handling, the way that it flies. I just suck. Admittedly, I suck at getting tail draggers off the ground. But man, once they're up in the air, that P-51, man, that thing will move. I mean, you punch the throttle, that is a go machine. It's easily hitting 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. It's a beautiful, beautiful plane. Beautiful plane. Yep. I love that P-51. So it does, JCP, and that was one of the reasons that I got the Commander, was because it's got the elliptical wings, and I'm a big fan of the Spitfire as well. So my hope was that if I can get used to the way that the Commander flies, because it's got a very similar tailwheel profile, very similar. I mean, they took a lot of design cues, because this is an original airframe from E-Flight, right? This is not like a scale replica of anything. This is a model that, that David Payne designed using inspiration from existing aircraft. And you have to believe, that he took a lot of design cues from the Spitfire when he made this thing. The elliptical wings, the profile of the rudder, the profile of the horizontal stabilizers. I mean, it is very Spitfire-y. So my goal, because I liked Spitfires also, I was hoping that getting this would also better prepare me for when I decide to take that Spitfire plunge, because that's another plane that's on my radar. both the 1600 Spitfire and Corsair. Love both of those planes. I want to get one. The FMS Tiger Cat, the F-15, the F-22, both amazing airplanes. You know, there's so much stuff that I want to get, and right now it's all like pipe dream stuff because I still have to get another job. But when that day comes, you know, there's a lot of planes that I want, and some, you know, like the Spitfire. Like I said, my whole reasoning behind getting the Commander MPD was to help me get used to the handling characteristics of an airplane with elliptical wings. And I don't know that the Commander is really a fair assessment of that because it flies so good. I mean, this thing has no bad tendencies, not one. The Commander MPD, I mean, this, if you have never tried a Commander MPD, if you like prop planes at all, and if you think that it's even remotely good looking, this bind and fly with an AR-636 receiver ready to roll, it's $199, man. Grab this and try it, because this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful plane. It flies awesome. It is one of the best, dollar for dollar, one of the best airplane purchases in all of RC. I said it. Commander MPD, one of the best dollar for dollar performance purchases in all of RC. $199. Awesome. Awesome. Yep. So Dave's RC knows what's up, man. He's flown that P-51, so he knows. I've flown it. Wesley's flown it. Ryan's flown it. I don't know if Jeff's Custom RC has one, but every person that I have heard that has flown the P-51 has had the exact same remarks, that it is the definitive P-51 right now. There isn't a better P-51 foam out there. It's awesome. It is awesome. The scale details are amazing. The way that the wings, the wingtips pop off for transportation is awesome. I mean, you don't have to pop them off if you don't want to. Everything about that model is amazing. The only gripe that I have at all is, and it's because I suck, if I was better, if I had better landings, if I had better takeoffs, this wouldn't happen. But the main gear doors will fall off. They're weak. They've got weak little pins holding them in at the pivot point up at the fuselage or up at the wing. And it's my fault. I know it is. And I can handle that. I mean, a new set of those main gear doors costs like $6. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, you fly it, you break it, you fly it again. But, you know, the flight characteristics are so awesome with that air. Awesome. It is an awesome, awesome plane. All right, cool. Yeah, Guniak, just let me know when your stream is ready, and throw a link up. So everybody, Guniak is coming up here His show always comes up right after mine, but I do want to do a quick rundown of all the shows during the week. So make sure that you show up to all these streams, say hi to our buddies, and support, all of our YouTube RC Aviation streamers, because each one of us has a little bit of a different voice, and we're all, putting out a little bit of a different message. So make sure you check out Gooniac right after this. On Tuesdays, you got to check out Flight Club with Raven Rock Machine and Aviation and Jeff's Custom RC. They put on a fantastic show every week. On Wednesday, we've got Ethan RC starting up, and we've got right after him GB Linden, Hump Day RC, GB Linden, and Ethan RC always putting on a great show. Thursday night, we've got Hangar 51. The marathon with Kenny, and the bus just keeps on rolling forever. I don't even think it has brakes, dude. The bus just keeps rolling. Friday, our main man, Dave's RC. He's crazy, he's neurotic, but it's a hell of an entertaining show. I love the guy, and I am excited to see, this milestone that he's reaching. He's almost at 1,000 subs, so make sure that you subscribe to Dave's RC. Saturday nights, our main man, Pilot Ryan, the King Rat. You got to watch the Pilot's Lounge on Saturday nights. Your best place for news, your best place, for all things RC aviation and maybe trucks. And Sunday, the Merry Boozers. I know that I forgot, somebody on Fridays. Sometimes Colin Clohan comes on, and he, these last couple of weeks, has been fantastic. Colin's show, he's had, air show stunt pilots on these last couple of weeks, which has been fantastic. Right before, and this is right before Dave's RC show. And, sometimes even Farmer Man gets on Fridays. So make sure you check out all of our fellow YouTube streamers, guys. Each one of us, has our own things that we're doing in RC, and each one of these shows is super informative, all awesome, and it's cool. So if Gooniac is ready, we are going to get his link and put it up in here. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So we are going to grab the link for Gooniac's show. Paste that up in here. Man, Dave, always, dude. I got your back. Yeah, even though you're one of them, ground pound and knuckle draggers. Thank you, Chuck G. George Watts, everybody, I appreciate it. Make sure we get over to Ray's show, guys, and support Ray. Anybody that does this streaming stuff, we all know that, this ain't the easiest gig in the world. So again, here is the link. Hit the like button on the way out. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification icon, turn on your notifications, share it out with your friends, and everybody head over to Ray's channel, and let's watch another great show. Thank you for coming tonight. We will see you guys all next week. Thank you so much, and have a great week, guys. Do, 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 do.